Hello and welcome or welcome back. Today's practice is all about just slowing things down a little bit. We'll start out with a little bit of pranayama, introduce a little bit of a slow flow, and then we'll end class in a seated, just sort of mindful meditation. So the only prop that I really recommend you having is just maybe a blanket and a couple of blocks if you like to practice with blocks. But really no props are really required for this one. Now I am sitting on the edge of a blanket here just to have my pelvis a little bit more elevated, a little higher than my knees. So if you have a blanket, feel free to grab that or maybe a couple of bath towels and join me in the seated position whenever you're ready. So we're just going to check in and turn your attention inwards. Start to maybe close down your eyes or soften your gaze. Having your hands rest anywhere in your lap. And just taking this moment to reconnect to your mat. Notice how you're breathing. Is the breath getting caught anywhere in the chest, into the throat? I'm not trying to necessarily alter the breath here, but just turning inwards and noticing what's going on with the breath. And then let's start to bring our hands into our lap and feel free to keep your eyes closed here. Now our palms are going to be facing up, and I just have my right hand rested on top of my left hand. Relax your shoulders down. Now, if you haven't done so yet, go ahead and seal the lips. Take a long, slow inhale through the nose. And a long, slow exhale through the nose. And do that a couple more times. See if you can smooth out the breath a little bit more. Just moving at your own pace. And then maybe see if you can lengthen out your exhales a little bit longer. Maybe softening through the tops of the shoulders a little bit more on the exhales. Still sitting up nice and tall. And then let's add on a little bit of movement with the arms and our breath. So focusing on that top hand, your right hand. Let's take an inhale. Start to raise that right hand, clear up past your face. Your eyes get past the third eye. And then stopping at the top of your inhale, find that little pause at the top of your inhale. Start to turn the palm over so the palm faces down and start to exhale slowly. Just release your hand all the way back down into your lap and nice and just slow, steady exhale here. Then bring that right hand underneath the left. We're going to repeat that on the left side. Left hand, inhale, start to raise the left hand up. Lifting that left arm up past the third eye. Find that pause at the top. Rotate that left hand down, palm faces down, and start to slowly exhale. Release it all the way down, and maybe act as if you're holding a ball in between your hands, and that ball's getting smaller and smaller. Flip the hands, right hand on top. Let's take an inhale. Start to raise that right arm and hand, lifting it up. And then whenever you're ready, exhale, slowly bring it back down and just act as if you're holding on to a ball. That ball is drawing smaller and smaller. Flip the hands, and then I'm going to let you go ahead and just move at your own pace at this time in silence. Nice and slow. Almost like drawing the energy all the way up your spine. And then letting everything just release on your exhale. We'll do this a few more times. And the next time you take an exhale, just release your exhale all the way out completely and fully. Let your hands rest back into your lap or down by or hands can rest onto your knees. And then just come back to normal breath. Whenever you're ready, start to float your eyes open or soften your gaze. And just come back to your external awareness now. Let's place the right hand or right fingertips on the mat. Take an inhale, reach up through that left arm, and exhale, side bend to the right. Now we want to keep that left sit bone down towards your mat, reaching through the left side body. And then exhale to come down into a seated forward fold. Hands can be up on fingertips. But see if you can round the spine, let your head just drop. And then on your next inhale, just lifting the body, coming to a twist. So right hand to left knee or thigh. That left hand is going to go behind me as a little kickstand. Take an inhale to stretch the spine. And then exhale, twisting over towards the left, maybe looking over that left shoulder. Keeping the right hand right where it's at, we're going to take an inhale, reach up through that left arm. And exhale to just find a little diagonal side bend here. Take another inhale, feeling into the left side ribs. And then an exhale to just start to forward fold a little bit, bringing that left hand down towards right knee or right thigh. And just finding a little stretch and broadening through the upper back now. Shoulder blades are separating. And I'm just enjoying the stretch. Release your neck. Just feeling that sensation all the way down the spine. Let's take an inhale, just release from everything and come back to your upright position. Maybe shrug the shoulders up and down or roll the shoulders. Any movement here in your seated position that can feel useful and helpful for you today. I might be able to get through this practice without stuttering again. Go ahead and take a few more, just roll through the shoulders or shrugging the shoulders. Let's bring left hand or left fingertips to the mat. Take an inhale, reach up through that right arm and exhale, side bend to the left. And keeping that right sit bone down towards your mat now. Feel the stretch of the right side body. Taking an inhale here, and as you exhale, start to bring the body down in front of you. Plant your hands or up on fingertips. Find your seated forward fold. Letting your head be heavy again. Feeling that connection to the back of the neck. Just releasing any of that tension there. Your next inhale is going to bring you to your twist. So next inhale, coming on up to left hand to right knee. Right hand can go behind you. I'm just on my fingertips. Let's take an inhale to extend the spine towards the sky and an exhale, twisting over towards the right. Maybe looking over that right shoulder. And then just try not to collapse down into the chest. So keep that spine nice and tall. Your next inhale, we're going to reach that right arm up and over, just finding this sort of diagonal side bend here. Getting nice and long through the right fingertips. Maybe feeling a stretch all the way down towards that right side of your lower back. And then an exhale, nice and slow, just rounding the spine, right hand to left knee, perhaps. And just keeping this little bit of roundedness through the mid back and upper back. And let your chin come towards your chest. Nice and easy breath. And on your inhale, start to just roll on up again. And we won't be here too much longer, but maybe just shrugging the shoulders back again or just rolling the shoulder blades, and just getting that mobility going through the shoulders. Good, let's come to a tabletop position whenever you're ready. So feel free to remove your blanket. Now, if your knees are a little bit tender today, feel free to keep that blanket underneath the knees. We will be on our knees. Or maybe if you're having hardwood floors and you're on some hardwood floors, feel free to pad the knees here. Let's come to a tabletop position with wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, and just that first sway side to side into the hips. I like to just get familiar with being on hands and knees, and without really much instruction, just letting you explore what feels good in your body. You know, sway a little side to side, move around through the pelvis, use a little bit of circles up through the pelvis. Maybe adding on a little bit of cat and cow movement where you're arching your spine and then rounding your spine. You know, get into these nooks and crannies of the body that this is your time to do that. You know, explore, let your practice be your journey on how you're feeling in this moment. Maybe you even rock a little forward and backwards, tucking your toes under. Good, and then whenever you're ready, let's just find a little bit of stillness here on our tabletop. We're gonna step the right foot forward, and then in between the hands there, we're just gonna come up into this low lunge. Now from here, see if you can pull that right hip back, left hip forward. My back toes are tucked here. Let your arms come down by your sides. Go ahead and take an inhale, reach the arms up overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, place your right arm just kind of on that right thigh there. Kind of think of this as a mini extended side angle. And then from here, we're just going to release the exhale. On your next inhale, windmill that left arm up and back, catching a hold of that left ankle. Right arm can reach up and back. So we're going to coordinate this with our breath here. So take an inhale here. And an exhale, find your extended side angle nice and slow. It's okay if you're a little bit wobbly. And an inhale, windmill the arm back. Right arm reaches up and back to any amount there. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, reaching back. Exhale, extended side angle. Go ahead and plant your hands and just bring that right knee back towards your mat there. Take an inhale, lower the belly, lift the chin and the gaze. And then an exhale, pushing down into the hands, rounding the spine, finding your cat pose. Inhale, lower the belly, lift the chin. Exhale, round the spine, find your cat pose. Inhale, come back to neutral, step that left foot forward in between the hands. Tuck the back toes under and just come on up into your low lunge here. Now from here, what we're going to do is we're going to see if we can pull this left hip back, right hip forward now. So again, back toes are tucked, really grounding down through that left foot there. Maybe your hands just come to your hips just to guide yourself and get a nice stance there. Now let your arms come down by your side. Take an inhale, reach up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, we're going to bring this left arm to left thigh and just start to bend right into that left knee. Thinking about this mini extended side angle. And just staying here for a few more breaths before we add on that little bit of movement on the other side. Next time you take an inhale, windmill that right arm up and back. Left arm reaches up and back to any amount, grabbing onto that right ankle, right ankle. Let's take another inhale here, and then exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, reaching back. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, reaching back. Exhale, extended side angle. Let's just pause here for a few breaths. On your next exhale, go ahead and just plant your hands. Bring that left knee back in. Come back to your tabletop. And then coming back to your tabletop, take an inhale to tuck the toes. Exhale, lift the knees, coming to a downward facing dog. Now from here, let's go ahead and just make a little bit of movement through the feet. So maybe you bend the left knee and then bend the right knee, straightening out the opposite leg. Maybe you find your gaze in between the feet. And just really grounding down through the palms of the hands to have that spine really start to extend. But feel free to put a generous bend in the knees there to feel that nice extension through the spine. Let's find some stillness in our down dog. Take an inhale, float the right leg up. And exhale, step that right foot in between the hands. Lower that left knee. Take an inhale, stretch up through the arms. And an exhale, set the hands back down. Tuck the back toes under. Lift that back knee. Step the left foot forward to meet the right. Nice, easy, soft forward fold here. Inhale to a halfway lift. Find a placement for your hands along the legs. Find that length from tailbone to crown of the head. And then exhale, soften the knees and forward fold. Inhale, stretch all the way up. Extend and mountain. Get nice and tall. Exhale, bend your knees. Find your chair pose. Sinking down. Sinking those hips all the way down. And then maybe your arms can stay extended. Feel free to bring hands to heart center here. Find your breath. And then on your next exhale, go ahead and forward fold there. Plant your hands, step back to your plank. You can inhale here and an exhale, come all the way down. Feel free to lower your knees if you would like. Inhale to your cobra pose. Just rolling up into your cobra pose. See if you can keep the glutes soft. Inhale, push up into the hands, tabletop. And then exhale to a child's pose. Nice and easy child's pose. Let's stay here for a couple of breaths in our child's pose. And then the next time you take an inhale, come back to your tabletop, nice and easy. Inhale to tuck the toes. Exhale, float the knees up, lift the hips, downward dog. Now again, feel free to take a little bit of movement, pedaling out the feet if you would like. Maybe perhaps that would feel good in your body, or maybe just swaying a little bit side to side into the hips. And then let's find some stillness here in our down dog. Take an inhale, float the left leg up. And an exhale, step that left foot through in between the hands, lower the right knee. Take an inhale, stretch the arms all the way up. And an exhale, set the hands down, tucking the back toes under, lift that back knee, step forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, extend and mount. Exhale to your chair pose. Let's bring hands to heart center here. Take an inhale. And exhale, twist to the right. Maybe right elbow or left elbow to right knee, finding a little twist there. Maybe your gaze is down towards your mat. And then on your next exhale, start to unwind from your twist. Come back to center. Release the exhale. Take another inhale whenever you're ready. And then exhale, twisting towards the left. So maybe right elbow to left knee. And then find that gaze. So maybe down towards your mat, up towards the sky, whatever's comfortable on your neck there. Find a comfortable breath, a steady breath. And then as you exhale, start to come back to center. Take an inhale, straighten the legs, reach up towards the sky. And exhale, soften the knees, forward fold. Inhale to plant the hands, step back to your plank. Now feel free to lower the knees here if you would like. We're going to take an inhale here and then an exhale to lower all the way down to your mat. Inhale, rolling up into a cobra. And exhale, release it on down. Inhale, pushing up into the hands. Exhale, your child's pose. So here for our child's pose, we're going to be here for a few breaths. So feel free to have your knees wide, maybe feet together, or maybe knees together, feet together, totally up to you. Now your arms can be in this more of an extended child's pose, maybe hands on top of each other and just resting the forehead down. So just find a version that works best in your body right here, right now. And then start to draw your attention to the circumference around the rib cage. And then start to really slow down the breath and feel the breath into the back of the body. Nice, easy breath in. A long, slow exhale out. And then on your inhales, just feel that breath and expansion on the inhales, the rib cage flowing out to the sides. And then your exhale, just softening around the lower back, softening the abdomen and the hips. And then you start to lift your head and then make your way back to a tabletop, just briefly, so we can roll onto our back. And then make your way onto your back. Go ahead and keep your feet planted and your knees bent. And then just setting your feet up about hip distance apart. Arms can come down by your side, palms facing down or up. Start to take an inhale, push down into the feet, push your low back into the mat. And an exhale, lifting the hips, finding bridge pose. Now here in bridge pose, we're gonna hold this bridge pose, lifting the hips high, but come back to your breath and just keep a nice steady breath. Now for the arms, if you want to feel a little bit more stretch into the upper arms and the neck, feel free to find a bind and maybe just interlacing the fingers behind you, right underneath the sit bones, and finding a bind there. Keep the sides of the neck long and soft. Teeth are parted, so keeping the jaw nice and heavy. And just really still grounding down through the feet, finding stillness, as much stillness as you can here in your bridge pose. Just feeling that openness through the front of the body. Really squeezing through the glutes as well, so activating those glute muscles. And then on your next exhale, go ahead and release your clasp and then just slowly bring your hips back down towards the mat. Let's bring in the right knee towards the chest, extend the left leg long down your mat. Now feel free to open that right knee out towards the right side to any match. Nice deep breaths. Maybe even having your left hand on your abdomen. And so I just have my right hand just kind of cradling that right knee and really allowing this right hip to be open, feeling into that left hip flexor even. Just letting this stretch be more passive. Now with the left hand, we're going to reach for that right knee, drape it clear across our body all the way over to the left side, finding a one knee supine twist. Enjoying the stretch a little bit more, maybe reaching that right arm out to a T, maybe perhaps more of into a cactus shape. Whatever arm variation for that right arm, whatever's comfortable there. And relaxing the shoulder blades against your mat the best you can. I love to just close down my eyes here and just really soak in all of these benefits of the practice of these postures and shapes that we're putting our bodies in. And then slowly rolling onto our back. Let's just hug both knees in towards the chest. Maybe a little rock side to side. Maybe a little circling motion of the knees, perhaps. And then whenever you're ready, let's just lower that right foot towards the mat. Keep the left knee hugged in. And then just start to extend the right leg long. So I have my left knee hugged in now towards my chest. And then opening that left hip out towards the side, or sorry, I should say opening the left knee out towards the side. Left knee can be just cradled in your left hand. Feel that lengthen down the right leg. Feel all of the stretchiness and different textures that you might be feeling. Just drawing that attention inwards here. And then whenever you're ready, we're gonna reach the right hand for that left knee. Drape it over the body, bring it across towards the right side. Find your supine twist. Any arm variation for that left arm. But start to just immediately come back to this practice here. So sometimes our mind will want to wander away, especially as we transition into these different shapes and postures. But just feel free to come back to your breath each and every time. Maybe do a quick body scan and just noticing any areas of the body that you can soften. Maybe softening those shoulder blades again, the jaw and sides of the neck, maybe the forehead, and all of the muscles around the face. Maybe softening a little bit through that left outer hip. Stay here for a few more breaths. And then whenever you're ready, just start to slowly make your way onto your back again. Let's come both knees in, maybe a little sway side to side. And then whenever you're ready, let's just plant our feet again, rolling onto one side to make your way up into that easy seated position. And if you have that blanket or bath towel nearby and you'd like to sit on the edge of that, feel free to do that. And once you find your easy seat, just feel free to close down your eyes. Take a moment just to notice the effects of the practice. A nice, slow, steady, continuous practice, and just training the mind to slow down, even that little bit of repetition, and just slowly shifting the body into that parasympathetic nervous system where you can rest and digest. You might even be hearing some sounds in your belly, maybe gurgling sounds, and that's a good sign that your body is starting to rest and process the information. So just take these extra moments of mindfulness just to tune in and just notice what's going on in the body. How do you feel now compared to the beginning of the practice, perhaps? And so to close out the practice, feel free to join me bringing your arms out by your side. We're going to take one more deep inhale as we raise the arms up over our head, just gathering in all of this positive energy for your day. Taking an exhale, coming to hands to heart center, just sealing it in. Namaste.